curious, be inspired, be movement, be here, be thoughtful, be yourself, be happy, be rhythmic. I think those little statements sort of sum up the purpose of Be Rhythmic, but really it's just to provide regulating, rhythmic, relevant activities for the class, for at home, for your team, for working one-on-one with kids and young adults as well, and self-care and personal practice and mindfulness is also part of it, and so it applies sort of all across the board, but it's just simple rhythmic and musical exercises that are good for the brain and good for the body, and I think good for the soul. The whole idea sort of came out of the drum circle experience, and I just hope to bring that feeling, that experience to every day. And so we're going to start off with what is a drum? And so obviously the djembe is an African drum. We have a cajon, which is a Latin percussion instrument, a Latin drum. We have congas, we have piano, and all these instruments are drums. Maybe the better question is, what is not a drum, right? Well, what is not a drum? We like to stick with the rule of each other. We do not play each other. That just leads to sometimes people being upset. So can we play ourselves? You bet. We got our hands, we got our feet, we got our legs, we got our voice. Ooh, chee, ooh, chee. So, what is a drum? I think we know that pretty much anything can be. In this first week, we can use a drum, we can use a table, we can use a desk, we can use our laps. Depends on the setting. If everyone is around their tables and we want to use our tables, great. If we're sitting, we can use our bodies. If we have access to drums or we're in a one-on-one, we can use the drums that we have. But otherwise, lots of options, and there's going to be DIY drum ideas that I present too. All right, next question. What is a practice? You're going to hear me referring to practice or exercise, and practice is the repetition of an exercise. An exercise is just a rhythmic or musical experience. A brain break is an exercise. A game is an exercise. Exercise is an exercise. So that's sort of the singular exercise. Practice is sort of the repeating or the routine of doing rhythmic practice. We don't need to change our routine. We can add to the routine, but we know that routine is important, and so the drumming can become part of the routine, but it's also pretty novel and different. So we have to be patient with that novelty. My colleague Jessica, that's one of the things that she says. She says that you want to build around a routine and have patience with novelty. All right, the benefits of rhythmic practice. I think everyone has experienced the benefits of rhythm because we all know the ABCs, and we all know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and we know songs from church or the radio or music that we find, and it seems like we can remember those things so much better than we can remember someone's name or what happened a week ago or even 10 minutes ago. And I think that shows you the power of rhythm, but the benefits also go beyond remembering things, right? We talk about regulation. Dr. Bruce Perry says, regulate, then relate, then reason. So rhythmic regulation is what we're going for. Physical benefits are just activation of the body. Movement, obviously, and exercise are incredibly beneficial. So good feelings, also just like self-confidence, accomplishing something, learning something new. All these things are great benefits. The great thing is that everybody can do this. Rhythm is as simple as snapping a finger. clapping a hand, playing a drum, one beat at a time. That is rhythm. So we are going to start simple, and hopefully we'll see the benefits. Like I said, I think this can be beneficial to everyone, but who can benefit from this rhythmic practice? I think it started with students, but also the teacher. So as we regulate our students, we regulate ourselves. Parents and kids, as we help regulate our kids, we regulate ourselves. Doing personal practice can prepare us for the day, or help us in a stressful situation, or make a fun situation even better. But I think everyone can benefit from this. But for a lot of these practices, we're going to focus on the students and on the classroom, as that's the setting where sort of that's the setting that inspired these exercises and these ideas. All right, let's talk about how it works. It sort of starts with call and response, or do what I do. Oftentimes we call this the echo. So we hear something and we echo it back. That's part of how it works. Another part of how it works is 8 beats at a time. We count in 8 beats with a lot of our exercises, because that's an easy number to loop through, and it feels right because music often loops in 8 beats. And so we structure things around those 8 beats, and counting to 8, and counting and doing counting and musical counting is a part of that. Otherwise, like I said, anything can be a drum. So if I'm playing a drum during a lesson, that can easily be a table or a lap. There will be some standing and moving and dancing exercises, and those are going to be pretty straightforward. Don't need any drums or anything like that. We'll make little brushes and we'll use different things, but essentially all that really matters is hitting your drum with your hands, following along, and having fun. Having fun being the most important thing. All right, so that's all the talking for now, and I think now we can get started on being rhythmic, because that's why we're here.